Slide decks from consulting firms like McKinsey, BCG, or Bain are widely considered to be the gold standard in storytelling, data presentation, and design. There's a cool video here on YouTube from the guys at Analyst Academy that was really the inspiration for this video, dealing with the pyramid principle of storytelling that is used by most of these companies. And basically the idea of the pyramid principle is that you first tell the audience your main point and then use key arguments and some supporting points to show how you got to the conclusion that was already presented in the main point. So if you guys want to know more about the pyramid principle of presenting, try to say that 3 times fast, go and watch their video. But what I want to talk about today is very specific. I want to talk about the supporting points, so the bottom of the pyramid. So in most of the examples shown, the supporting points are just data points visualized to actually give credit to the main message. However, I feel that with just a little bit of sprinkling of IBCS in the form of visualizations creating with Zebra BI, we can improve the visualization of the data immensely. And since this means that I have to act smart today, I should probably put on my glasses. I'm ready. Let's look at the Bain example from their video, which comes from the luxury market study of 2011. Link down below. From the title already, the main point that the slide is trying to convey is that there is forecasted growth in 2011 for the luxury market. So the key arguments supporting this point are that most of the spending will come from new customers. However, it will also, but in smaller part, come from the existing customers. So first let me start off with something good. The choice of waterfall chart was the best that they could make. I think it's the one that the most clearly shows how spending from different categories is then resulted in the total market. That said, what really bothers me is that the highlight for the increase here is red. Red is the Bain's color, and they use it for highlights quite often. However, I think it just adds confusion here. We do not expect something good, something that increased, being red. So I think this just adds more confusion. So that's why in my example, I went with the age-old green is good. Another thing on their slide that I don't think is highlighted enough is that the 2011 numbers here are just estimates. So going with the rules of IBCS, I use different color shades and patterns to convey to the user that some of the data is showing previous year and some of the data is actually showing forecasted numbers. But when you're doing company branding, be very, very careful which colors you choose. If red is your primary color, this is not a good color to highlight increases. What would be better is maybe highlighting the neutral colors, something like this in my example, and then using black, let's say, for negative variances. A little side note, I still remember how tedious it was to do charts like this in 2011. But everything has changed, and now with Zebra BI it's just as simple as a copy and paste. So when you have a chart like this that you like, simply copy the styling, paste it into our style editor, and now everybody in the company, including you from now on, will have this same styling of any type of chart that they choose from Zebra BI. So the second thing I think we can improve is the key highlights. I believe that each of these highlights should be more indicated to what data point are they actually referring to. Because I, when reading the slide for the first time, was having quite a lot of trouble pinpointing exactly what they're trying to explain. And this took time away from me listening to the presentation of the actual paper. And this is something that's also easily improved with the use of Zebra BI. Our highlight markers make it easy to understand exactly which comment is explaining which data point. The last thing is decluttering the chart a little bit. So there's a lot of elements that this chart has that I think are just unneeded. And the first being the legend. Now that we have all of our categories neatly tucked in on our x-axis, there's no need to have the legend. The second is the y-axis. I don't think we actually need an axis break here, as I think the visualization shows the variances quite well. So for this reason, just don't include the don't include the axis break, and simply get rid of the y-axis. The scaling will be better as well. And the last thing I did was move the relative numbers of the increases into the comments, as with the comment markers we know exactly what the comments are trying to explain. And that's it. If you think this video was informative, definitely put a like and comment if you think that my changes actually made now for a better slide. But before we finish, although I think the points raised today are still relevant, the slide is pretty much 10 plus years old. So I just wanted to see if Bain is doing something else now. I looked up a study from 2022 and in it I found this. So I don't really understand why it's not company branded, and I really don't like these categories in the place of the chart, so I made this, which is company branded and I think looks better. Bain, you're welcome to use it anytime you want. So thank you for watching. With Zebra BI, any presentation you do from now on will be actionable and informative. And hey, if you want to learn more about visualizing data, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel and start watching a lot of our videos.